Governor Stitt, this is from Oklahoma Voice. Governor Stitt signs controversial Oklahoma immigration bill. Basically talks about House Bill 4156. So it would create a new crime called impermissible occupation for willfully entering the state without legal authorization to be in the United States. The first offense is punishable by either 1 year in a county jail and a fine of up to $500 or both, and the person would be required to leave the state within 72 hours. A second offense is a felony with up to 2 years in prison and a fine of $1,000 or both. Okay. Stitt said he was disappointed the bill was necessary. So let's keep that in our head. All right. And then I'm going to actually flip over to something else. Now I'm going to flip over to this. So this is a Twitter post from a man named Chris Brewster, who is the superintendent of Santa Fe High School and the Santa Fe South. Now it's a whole bunch of different, I think it's elementary, middle, and high school. But back in the day, it started out, I think, as just a high school, if I remember correctly. And I actually had a friend who went to work for Chris Brewster, said he was, a great guy. She really liked him. So that was back in early 2000s. So he's been around literally for quite some time at Santa Fe South. Okay. So I had this tip to me this morning too. He tweets or X's, whatever you want to call it now. I am deeply disappointed with our governor and legislature. I have never been ashamed to be an Oklahoman until today. HB 4156 should never have been law. I am heartsick. All right. Well, so some lady, Leslie's Unique Crafts, goes, so leave. We don't want you here anyway. Just get out of here. Okay. He goes, do you know me? So he's trying to be, like a little jerky, right? He's like, so you know me? You're going to tell me to get out of here, right? So I couldn't help. I couldn't help myself. I mean, I just couldn't help it. I said, you've made yourself known. You've made it known that you object to a law to help to stem the tide of people entering this state illegally. You've made yourself known as one who is not interested in the rule of law. This should upset and even anger many lawful citizens. But I went on. The fact that you actually nearly raise kids in this state while you yourself possess an attitude of unlawfulness should be concerning to any taxpayer, citizen, or any parent attempting to raise up or bring their children up with respect for the law. I think as a taxpayer, we should have his job. We should just have him removed from his job, because if he is going to promote unlawfulness, if he loves illegality so much, he should be absolutely disqualified from being in charge of any children anywhere. Because at some point in time, we actually are built, this nation was built on the rule of law. That's how it was. We don't live in a democracy, Paul Ziriax. We live in a republic. And that was the combination of law with the Constitution, the law being there to back up what was written in the Constitution. And that was supposed to promote justice and ensure domestic tranquility. But right now, I don't have domestic tranquility.
And protect
I want to
our liberty.
actually strangle somebody because I'm sick to death of these people and their little bleeding hearts and but I don't care if it's illegal. You're hurting people. Well, guess what? If you come into this country illegally and you drag your children into this country, or worse, you have children in this country after you're here illegally, that's not your child's fault. Absolutely not. But guess what? It is the parent's fault. You are responsible. You're out of here. I'm going to be the umpire for the state. You're out of here.
Hey, I have no qualms.
I am done with this nonsense. And
Well,
Chris Brewster should be fired for promoting illegality, for promoting lawlessness. he should be fired. I
Well,
don't want
I'd
to
like
pay
to
his damn
see,
salary.
Jenny, I'd like to see Mr. Brewster's track record, his bleeding heart track record of how many people he's housed himself over the
Oh,
last 10, 20, 30
maybe we
years.
should ask him.
Yeah. How many people
Hop
has
on
he
here,
helped? You know, how many mission
Superintendent
trips has
Brewster.
he gone on? You know, what is this guy's contribution to the immigration of people coming to this country? You know, what has he done? You know, how much blood, sweat, and tears has he put into helping these people? And I say that, and I can say that because I'm literally first generation American. My dad's entire family came over here from Italy. My mom's entire family came over here from Germany, and they had to go through the process. They became U.S. citizens. They were quarantined. They did the entire process. My grandfather's name is in the books at Ellis Island. We went there. We saw where he stood on the steps, the whole 9 yards.
I adopted 2 children from Africa. It cost me over $25,000 to get them here legally.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, all you need are a pair of fence snippers and you're in.
Yep. And what are we doing? Why are we defending all these other countries? Why are we sending hundreds of billions of dollars for other countries to protect their borders? Well, I mean, come on.
Because the flat bottom line is we've got to ruin the middle class. We've got to force people like you and me to pay for all of this stupid ass nonsense. Sorry, I'm losing it this morning. But I could not even believe it. And I want to know who's going to fire him. I want to know if Ryan Walters wants to stand up and fire this guy. I suggest we do. How many superintendents do we need to have across this state that just promote lawlessness? That just say, you know what? I don't care if they're illegal or not. They're kids. I don't care. What's the next thing that it's okay to be illegal because they're kids? Yeah. What is the next thing?
Well, I'll dovetail on that, Jenny. How many superintendents do we even need in this state?
Oh, that's another good
Are we
point.
that inept at the admin level that you got to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of superintendents at every single little independent school district? I mean, come on.
But Michael, are you crazy? Who would pay for COSA then? Who would pay dues to COSA then? We can't not have all of these superintendents because we wouldn't create the monster that is COSA. We couldn't have all of these school board members so we could empower OSSBA. I mean, don't forget, it's always about the groups. It's never about the individuals.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go because I'm not finished ranting. So hang on. More ranting coming.
We'll just let you go. We'll just let you go.
So let's share another tab because I'd like to talk about this tab. So our governor signs the, here's the tab. So our governor signs this, and then this, I got this morning. Basically, this is an executive order that was filed yesterday. The bill was signed yesterday. So at the same time, initially, he files an executive order. I recently signed House Bill 4156 into law as a direct result of the unprecedented border security crisis that has seen more than 52,000 Chinese nationals, along with terror organizations, illegally infiltrate and wreak havoc on our nation state due to Biden's administrative complete failure to offer even minimal protections. So let's just start out. So it's mainly Chinese? No, you guys did the whole marijuana thing. That was a big door opener for the Chinese to come in. So don't put it off on that. That's absolutely ridiculous. You don't want to say about all of the Hispanics that are coming over here illegally. Somehow we don't even want to touch that situation. All right. So he goes on and he says, whereas that it's not aimed, this bill is not aimed at the honest, hardworking Hispanic. How are you honest? How are you honest if you're here illegally?
Yeah.
Can you give me an answer to that question? So Governor Stitt, I want an answer to that question. You're welcome to come on here at any time. You tell me, how do you have an honest, hardworking Hispanic or anybody who is here illegally? Illegality and honesty are not the same. They're actually divergent. Isn't that interesting? They're completely opposite. So whereas the federal
Jenny, don't
government
be a
has
buzzkill. We're helping people. Come on.
has
These are all they're not illegal immigrants, Jenny. These are all refugees. They're all fleeing and they're all refugees. That's what it is.
yeah, but here we're going to find out exactly what the deal is. So don't ever forget that our governor is mainly concerned about businesses, right? That's why the Chamber of Commerce loves him, loves him, loves him. It's business, business, business all the time, right? So has refused to issue work permits unless and until the federal administration functions as designed. That means Oklahoma, must do our part to discover and provide pathways for migrant workers to legitimately contribute to our state without fear of being separated from their families and livelihoods. So basically, we played this game. The governor giveth and the governor taketh away. So he's signed this bill, and yet on the other hand, he wants to create a task force to make sure that the illegals that are here already get to stay here legally.
Yeah.
We're providing them a pathway to citizenship after
Through
they've
government.
already stormed the border and they're in here and they're doing their work illegally. Now let me make another point. I have kids that need jobs. They're actually legal citizens that live here in Oklahoma. Isn't that freaking weird?
Yeah.
They would like to have jobs. How are we going to compete for jobs for with people who are here illegally, but they're honest, even though they're here illegally. But we need to figure a way to get them a path to citizenship. People in Oklahoma, we're done being a red state. We have a governor that's more interested in, and this is clear. So if you want to go look this up, please, I'm not making this up. This was filed. It was filed yesterday. You can go look it up. He puts all of the executive orders that are out there, so everybody can see them. I'm absolutely so mad that my hair is on fire.
Hey, you know what? And he's expanding government more by creating another task force. But I like to play on words here, Jenny. You know what all these task forces remind me of? Remember when Obama was in office and he had all these czars? He had a czar for everything. It's like the same playbook.
Mm-hmm. It sure is. I mean, our governor has a task force for everything. I mean, we had a task force for election integrity. I'm still trying to figure out what any of that did or anything. But I think the thing that bothers me the most about that whole bit of just absolute nonsense. This is not meant to hurt the people, the honest, hardworking, illegal aliens, but he wouldn't put that. They're called migrant workers. And I forgot to mention, do you know who's on the task force?
No.
The person who runs the Mexican consul in Oklahoma. Remember, we have a Mexican consul in Oklahoma. Why do we have a Mexican consul? It's Oklahoma. We're not in Mexico. We don't have we're not like a border town or someplace where you have to have or Washington D.C. where we have to have some kind of an embassy. We're not that. Why do we have a Mexican consul?
Yeah. Well, and what a slap in the face to every immigrant that has come into this country, into this state, legally built a business, is a good tax paying, rule following, law abiding Oklahoma. What a slap in the face.